What's going on, everybody? It's Cooper from the Backbends. We've got team preview number 5 today. It's the Missouri Thunder's turn to get broken down and take a better look at their roster. They definitely made some interesting draft picks, in my opinion. When you look at the numbers and stats from last year, I think it'll really be shocking to you guys to see what kind of route they took when you're looking at numbers. And I think it shows you that you can't draft for stats and numbers. You got to go with your gut and what you believe in. And I think they definitely did that. They're led by Ross Coleman and Luke Snyder. They are co-head coaches, as far as I know. Legends of the game, been around for a long time. They were some of my favorite guys to watch when I was younger in that early 2000s era. Both really exciting guys to watch in the arena. Before we get to the rest of the video, though, don't be afraid to give a like, subscribe to the channel, guys, comment the videos. It does nothing but help our channel grow. It's greatly appreciated, but I'll quit messing around. Let's grab them slides. Let's talk the Missouri Thunder. To kick things off, let's just go over who they left the draft with back in May at Texas Live. 5th overall, they went with Colton Fritzlan. At 12 overall, Clayton Sellers. 21st overall, Cody Teal. 28th overall, Andrew Alvidrez. And 37th overall, Jesse Petrie. Now, the Thunder's also been active on the free agent market. They have already dropped a rider and replaced him with an additional rider. So their current free agent signings are Luke Parkinson, Marcelo Perea, Fletcher Jowers, Callum Miller, Leandro Machado, Adriano Salgado, and Nate Huey. But let's start with their first round pick. At 5 overall, the Missouri Thunder drafted Colton Fritzlan. Colton's a right-handed bull rider, placed 49th in the world in 2022, had a 33% riding percentage last year. And his career top ride is 89 3/4 on Speed Demon back in 2021. Don't let those numbers fool you. This guy deserves to be a first round pick. He had reconstructive shoulder surgery, I believe it was, over the end of 2021 that ultimately set back his start to the 2022 season. He did ride at a few events, but ultimately it wasn't enough to make the World Finals. But this guy is ultra talented. Definitely deserves to be a first round pick. Kind of caught me off guard, to be honest. It's just a guy I wasn't really thinking about. And I suppose some of that comes from him not being super active in the UTB level in 2022. But I can assure you this guy deserves all the accolades he's gotten. He did really well at the 2020 NFR when they were down in Arlington, Texas. This guy's no stranger to the big stages. And he's a young guy, too. Definitely a really good building piece for any franchise. I think this is a slam dunk first round pick, and I'm definitely excited to see Colton Fritzlan back healthy and in the arena. At 12 overall, the Missouri Thunder select Clayton Sellers. He's a left-handed bull rider, placed 24th in the world in 2022, had a 33% riding percentage, and his top ride of the individual season in 2022 was 89.5 points on Another Lunatic at the Denver Velocity Tour event. This is another guy. I don't think 24th in the world is where I envision him, and I definitely don't think it's where he sees himself. This guy was really successful on the pro rodeo end of things before he came over to the PBR. He's made the NFR multiple times, had a lot of success over there. I'm just waiting to see it at the PBR level, at the UTB level. The talent's there. This guy can definitely ride bulls and make it look really good when he gets tapped off. Young guy. Another good building block piece for a franchise. You got him and Fritzlan as your 1-2 punch. I like that. And obviously these coaches think they can get the best out of these guys. And if they're able to get the best out of these two, the sky is the limit for these two. I really like what the Missouri Thunder did with their first 2 picks. With the 21st overall pick, the Missouri Thunder took Cody Teal. He's a right-handed bull rider, placed 28th in the world in 2022 and had a 30% riding percentage. His top ride of 2022 came aboard Moonlight Party, 91.5 points. This is another guy. Those numbers don't do this guy justice. He's better than that. I expect Cody Teal to bounce back. Just not his year. A lot of things just didn't go his way. Really inconsistent. Just not the Cody Teal we're used to seeing. So when you're getting him at 21 overall, I think this is a great pick. He's a PRCA world champion before he came over to the PBR. And like I said, there's just no way this guy finishes at 28 again. He's talented. He's a really tall guy for a bull rider, but he makes it work. And just quiet, calm demeanor about him. You're not going to rattle this guy. It don't matter what he's getting on. It could be Godzilla. It's not going to bother this guy. He's going to go about his business the same as he would if he's getting on a 17-pointer in the practice pen. I really like this pick to add some veteran presence to these two young up-and-comers that they took with their first two picks. Cody Teal's been there, done that. He's seen what it takes to be successful at this level of the sport, both on the pro rodeo end of things and the PBR end of things. And I don't expect to see the Cody Teal we saw in the 2022 individual season in this team series. I think the Missouri Thunder got a pretty good value here at 21. But let's take a break from this video for a couple seconds here and let's talk about Rank Ride Fantasy. If you like the team series and the draft portion of the team series, you're going to love Rank Ride Fantasy. You get to put your general manager cap on and create your own team every week. Week in, week out, you can pick whoever you want as long as it's within the guidelines, the rules of the game. So if you want to take Jose Vitor Leme, have at her. You can have him any week. If you want to take a guy like Cooper Davis, Connor Halverson, you can take whoever you want. It's a fun way to engage yourself in the bull riding that weekend. I've played every week in 2022 for the individual season, and man, it's a blast. It makes it so much more fun when you have a guy you need to do well or a bull you need to do well, and vice versa. If a guy you don't have on your team does really well, it just makes it for more exciting. Play with your buddies, get a little group going, some side betting going on there, bragging rights. That's why people like to compete, is they like to say, well, I'm better than you. I beat you at that or on that day. It's a great time. I can promise you will not be disappointed. You can find them at www.rankridefantasy.com. And I will link their social medias in the description below and at the end of this video. But let's get back to it. At 28 overall, the Missouri Thunder took Andrew Alvidrez. He's a right-handed bull rider, placed 26th in the world in 2022, had a 21% riding percentage. And his top ride came at the World Finals, 91 points on LeGrand from Jerome and Tiffany Davis. This is a guy I really like. 21% riding percentage last year. That's not ideal. You're obviously going to want higher, but you want to talk about toughness and grittiness. This guy's it. He is not going to quit the ship and just had a lot of bad breaks last year, really. I mean, I can remember multiple times he's making a really good bull ride and just didn't finish. So you got to imagine Ross Coleman and Luke Snyder think, if we get this guy in here, we work with him, we work on that consistency aspect of it and getting him to finish more of those 6+ second bull rides, we got ourselves a steal in the 4th round. And on top of that, Andrew's a really physically fit guy. If you haven't been around Andrew, like, he's not that tall, but he is definitely put together. He is a muscular guy. You can tell he puts his time in the gym. And in this team setting, that's huge because you're obviously going to want to do things as a team. So to have a guy who takes fitness that seriously, I think it can only benefit your team as a whole, picking his brain on training techniques that he likes to use, etc. So I really don't mind this pick. And with their 5th round pick at 37 overall, the Missouri Thunder took Jesse Petrie. He's a left-handed bull rider, finished 63rd in the world, rode 21% of his bulls last year. And his top ride was 88 points on Hurt So Good from Cord McCoy. This is another young guy that I really expected more out of this last year. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think this guy's really talented. Did not have a very good 2022. Jesse Petrie is a lot better than the 63rd best bull rider in the PBR, in my opinion. Just a lot of bad breaks. Just didn't ride very consistently. And he was on tour for a while, got cut, and you never really seen him make that comeback. And this is a guy the sky's the limit for. He's a taller, lankier guy, but when he gets tapped off onto one, man, it looks really, really good. I expect a lot more out of Petrie in this team series than what we saw in the individual season in 2022. And you got to think that Ross Coleman and Luke Snyder are thinking the same thing. using a draft pick on this guy. They obviously have a lot of faith in him, and I expect to see the Jesse Petrie that I think he can be and that he knows he can be. If you look at what the Thunder did with their draft picks, they didn't draft anybody who finished inside the top 20 in 2022. So that tells me that their coaching staff, their front office, they went out and got guys that they believe in. They're confident in them, because if they weren't, there's no way you can justify that. I'm all about a team, an organization calling their shot and saying, you know what? Yeah, this guy was the 63rd best bull rider last year, but wait till we get our hands on him, because we're going to turn him into a top 10 guy year in, year out. That's what I think the Thunder are doing with this roster that they drafted, and I'm excited to see it unfold come Cheyenne. But let's talk about the current free agent signings the Missouri Thunder have. Now, like I mentioned earlier too, they've already cut somebody and replaced him with another rider. So these guys are not afraid to be active. We haven't seen that much of these guys. So it definitely tells you that if you're not meeting their standards, they're going to look elsewhere. But their current free agents, as it sits right now, Luke Parkinson, right-handed bull rider, finished 207th in the world in 2022. He was on Team Australia during the 2022 Global Cup and made a pretty good ride there, went 88.5 at the Global Cup. So he's not a slouch. Marcelo Pereira, he's a right-handed bull rider, finished 32nd in the world in 2022. So he made the world finals. He also put up 91.5 points on Chiseled last year. Fletcher Jowers, right-handed bull rider, did not have a placing in 2022 in the PBR. Callum Miller, right-handed bull rider, finished 207th in the world in 2022. Australian guy, and this guy impressed me in Bismarck, North Dakota. He went to that preseason event, and Callum Miller showed me that he can ride at this level. Hopefully he can be as consistent as he was that weekend, because he was outstanding to watch in Bismarck. Leandro Machado, right-handed bull rider, finished 131st in the world in 2022, and he has been crushing it at these Challenger events they've been having. He's been getting a lot of bulls rode at those events. So consistency seems to be a strength for this guy, which is never a bad thing in a team scenario. Adriano Salgado, left-handed bull rider, finished 37th in the world in 2022. I mean, this is a guy who's been to the World Finals in 2021. Really good into his hand, might struggle a little bit away from his hand, but I can tell you, you put him on an 88 pointer that goes to the left, and he's gonna convert on that kind of a bull at a pretty high clip. And they rounded out with Nate Huey. He's a right-handed bull rider, finished 202nd in the world in 2022. So I think they have a good mix of youth and experience with this free agent pool, and some guys that maybe a lot of people didn't know of, including myself. But you look at some of these guys, what they're showing early in this summer and the team process, there's going to be some hidden gems in here. And I really like what the Thunder did with their free agent signings. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. Let's get some chat going in the comments, whether you think the Missouri Thunder did good or bad with their draft picks and free agent signings. It only helps our channel out, so we definitely appreciate it. And don't be afraid to give us any feedback of anything you'd like to see us do or want to see us do better. We're always open for feedback, good, bad, or ugly. We'll take it. We're just looking to create content that you guys want to see, want to watch, want to listen to, etc. So let us know. Also, I will link Rank Ride Fantasy social media and our social medias at the ending slide of this video. Until next time, you guys have a great one, and come back and visit us again from the back pins.